Reginald Silver, cleric of Astaire, has been doing a good job of bringing law and order to the docks. Of course, order is anathema to Melkis, and so the architects have deigned that he must go. And so the order comes down the line to the ear of our assassin. Of course, no one can see Malchus's hand in the cleric's death, so the job will have to be perfectly executed. But our assassin is up to the task, or at least he claims to be. After securing accommodation, he shaves his beard in an attempt to change his appearance. Next he gathers some information on Reginald's background, and then to the tea house where the cleric has his lunch. When Reginald does show, he confronts him, pretending to be a morning drunk. During the confrontation, he learns that the cleric can't swim. So once Reginald leaves, our assassin examines the dock and chair, checking their integrity. He returns to his room to collect a few things, and then spends the rest of the day in the Mermaid's Kiss, debating whether or not dragons are real. In darkness, he returns to the docks by the tea shop to investigate. He discovers an interesting way to sabotage it. Next day, he gets below the docks once more, with a bag of rocks secured to a rope, in case the cleric is not as good at drowning as expected and will need a little help. Sadly, bad weather disrupts his carefully laid plans, so he heads back to his room after buying Sophie some fish. Eventually, the storm clears, and so the assassin returns to his spot and waits. At lunchtime, Reginald Silver shows up as predicted. Unfortunately, as the dock collapses beneath him, the cleric manages to avoid falling into the canal. Will the backup plan work better? Will our assassin meet the same fate as his predecessor? Are dragons real? Let's find out now on Assassin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Assassin. How are you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing great because I have amazing air conditioning. How about you?
I'm doing great because I have good enough air conditioning.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So good that it's been a week and Neal still hasn't changed his shirt.
Or have I changed my shirt 7 times and I've just gotten back to this cycle? Which one is it? You'll have to check out my other streams to find out.
Yes, so.
How has...
So, I was just going to say, everybody, just, for your write-in campaign, Neal has nixed my idea for the assassin to have a Goes to Hollywood episode.
Yeah, with all the really song and dance numbers.
Assassin water skiing over the shark either.
It feels like a little much,
I think the shark thing is just the perfect amount, I think.
What, like on water skis or something?
Yeah. And he could wear his leather armor as he water skis over the shark.
Who would wear leather armor while water skiing? It seems ridiculous. It seems so ridiculous that it might, set a whole trend of ridiculousness that I just not a fan of. I don't like silly things.
Would almost become like a meme.
I mean, yeah, I think if you were to jump a shark, it would become a meme. Yeah, definitely.
Well, anyway, I think we should definitely start off by acknowledging this week's sponsor, Too Much Coffee. That's right. Today's Assassin is brought to you by Too Much Coffee. Do you feel that the mundane world is for suckers and you'd like to drink so much coffee that you can see beyond this realm, like one of those navigators in that old version of the movie Dune that you never saw? Then Too Much Coffee is for you. Are you just not comfortable until your limbs are shaking in a way reminiscent of the purring of a cat? Too much coffee. But that too much coffee is just a little bit unhealthy. Too much tea from the makers of Too Much Coffee, because a leaf is somehow more natural than a bean.
That is definitely true. Leaves are extremely natural and much better for you than beans. It's
That's
well
right,
known.
because they come from plants, and
Beans
beans
are
are
the spawn of the devils from the Nine Hells.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that viewpoint was brought to you by Belief, the new science.
All right. You are in that tavern that's built into the cliffside overlooking the docks, where they're serving both coffee and tea, as well as various forms of alcohol. But you can also get coffee and tea here as well. You're here with Ripley, your friendly handler, who's keeping an eye on you and making sure everything goes well. Yeah.
All right.
So I think we will come into play here.
All right. I'll have Sophie with me. As
course.
always, I'll be petting Sophie up here on the table. Sophie likes to get out.
Sure. She kind of sits on the table next to you, and you can pet her. Ripley is probably, for this time, I think you guys are sitting at the same table. There are other people around. It's a... actually, there's not very many other people around. I think this is early morning in the tavern, in the bar. There are just a few folks about, the one bartender who's sleepily leaning on his hand and elbow, kind of gazing out, not really paying too much attention to anything else. And then a few patrons who spent the last night here that are waking up and having their breakfast at some of the other tables. But it's quiet and empty. I'd say there's maybe 5 people in here total, plus one cat.
It seems I've come a little bit early to catch your set.
It's all right. I'll be here for the next 16 days, as needed. Might take off early, though, if my work feels accomplished.
Oh, yes. I can't imagine you staying here for 6 days.
Well, she gives a half-hearted shrug. You never know what the world's going to hold. At any point, things can change. What about you? Are you in town long?
Oh, hopefully not. I do have some business in town, which I've made preliminary moves on. I've been thinking that perhaps acting against my competitor might even more fruitful in the long run, or also to act against his reputation.
What do you mean?
I've been getting a feeling that there's a little more to my competitor than most people realize. And it seems that in making the business arrangements I've come here to make, I might also be able to damage his reputation as a businessman. Seems like that could be more useful in the long run. My business.
Well, that's definitely an effective tactic. Do you have any... Is there anything I can do to help you?
I think I can handle this. I've noticed here and there that he doesn't seem quite as invested in business as one might expect. Wondering what distractions he might have.
Well, why don't you go find out? And maybe I'll see you again.
I hope so. I do enjoy our conversations.
Me too. She turns around and starts plucking on the strings to her lute, playing kind of a tuneless melody almost for the people at breakfast.
Okay. I'm gonna head back down to my room that I've set up
Mm-hmm.
down at the. That was at the. I was at the other inn this time. What was the name?
There was the sea shanty, the seaside shanty, and the mermaid's kiss.
The Seaside Shanty was a little bit nicer one, right?
Yeah, and the mermaid's kiss was the tavern that doubles as a brothel.
All right, so back down to the Seaside Shanty.
Okay.
Go up to my room. Set Sophie in the bed as I go through my wardrobe to try to find something different to decide what I was going to do with my disguise kit here. Okay, so Sophie, didn't it seem as if our extremely devout Reginald Silver was surprisingly uninterested in saving the soul of the poor drunk fool doubting the gods? Can't help but wonder as I was sitting there writing up notes to diary pages to leave to be found, coming up with different scandals to lay at his feet. I thought, are there real ones? Do I need to be quite so creative? Be observant. So I will dress pretty much as a sailor. And I'm going to, down to have tying a skull cap around my head.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll go with. Actually, I'll even put on an eye patch just to complete the thing, and because that will be the distinguishing feature people remember.
Man in the eye patch. Fantastic. All right.
Yes.
You got the sailor's outfit. You've got the eye patch. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
I'm going to wander the docks. Actually, I'm going to sort of stride purposefully around the docks as if I've got some sort of business that I'm about. I'm a sailor. No one's really going to pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look for the whereabouts of our good friend Reginald Silver.
Excellent. Why don't you give me... You know what? No, you'll find him eventually. It's just a matter of time. So you walk around on the docks until you spot him out here. Let me ping it with the other one so you can find it better. Way over here. In this little hut. The red circle expanding around it.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can come up alongside, or you probably... I think there's a back window that you might spot him through, or more likely you see him like standing on the side of the dock or coming out of the building for just a moment to look at something and then heading back inside, and that's how you spot him.
All right. I am going to go back to my room, grab the fishing supplies that I had picked up last time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to get Sophie a meal, and that dock seems like the perfect place for it.
Excellent. So you go get your fishing supplies, no problem. It's only a few hundred feet away. And you come on back and head down the docks towards where Reginald is.
I'll set up to fish right there.
Okay.
And, someone sitting there fishing is clearly just biding their time, and I can sort of in a very bored, not really looking way, glance from time to time over at the the window that you said was on this side here.
Yeah, there are a couple of windows around here. Yeah, there's a few in the front, a few in the back, a few on the side. So you can occasionally glance and see him in there. Reginald seems to be at some sort of stool or chair, kind of looking out the windows, looking out the doorway, looking out the other window. From here, he's got a pretty good view of the whole docks. If we zoom all the way out. From his point here, he can see all the ships coming and going. He can see basically the entire shoreline. He does get blocked by one of these big warehouses far to the west. But he's got like a perfect view of all dockyard activities that aren't hidden behind a building, right? So it gives him a great vantage point to see what's coming and what's going, and specifically what's going on with those ships out there, where the ships unloading stuff to, and then he's able to walk around the town and walk around the docks and get closer looks on individual things. This is his prime scouting spot.
All right. So it's not like he's trying to. He's not looking around like he's trying to avoid being seen. His equivalent of Batman perched on a gargoyle in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you sit here for a couple of hours, you'll see him spot something and hurry up and like run, not run, but stride down the docks boldly and go, finger wagging at some sailor who came to the wrong port or came to the wrong specific dock, or there's something a little fishy about the way that they were handling their merchandise, and he needs to inspect them and like goes through their stuff and then comes back when it's all done.
All right. I'll watch him do that twice. How long does he spend each time? It seems like he spends a lot of time pontificating and telling their ways.
He's pretty quick about it. When he goes, so the first time you see him, someone's pulling up to a dock a little bit far to the east, and he just hurries down there. You can't really hear what he's saying, but he's wagging the finger and yelling at the man, and clearly has his hands on his hip, and he's giving him a stern talking to. And at the end of it, he makes the sign of a stare on the guy's forehead. It's a little triangle with rings on it. And then pats him on the shoulder and lets him go. The second time is when you see somebody, there's this large ship that's just to the east. This one, it's the large trireme. And a small vessel gets launched off of it, and instead of just like coming in straight to the dock next to it, it goes a little bit to the side and like comes to this smaller dock further off. And that's when Reginald makes his move, and seeing that go over there, he hurries down the docks. From your fishing point, you can see him chastising that person and immediately just like opening their boat and starting to toss things aside, going through all of their belongings as the sailors stand by, clearly upset and trying to tell the cleric to stop, but he's not stopping for them. And once he's finished, he looks at the sailor and makes an apologetic sign. And
I was gonna say, actually, if I see him going all that way,
mm-hmm.
and he spent, it seems like maybe 5 or 10 minutes chastising the first person.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. If he goes all that way, which gives me some time, I'm going to go first look in the window of his little cabin there.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see in there?
You head on into the window, and you can see that there's not a lot in here, actually. Both of these. It's just a small room, not even 10 by 10. It has a few chairs in here for someone to sit, a small little table. You can see that there's a little a hook where he can like hang his weapons so they don't have to like dangle at his belt. Because you don't want to like sit in a chair with weapons hanging off your belt, So he's got like a little hook here for him to put his weapon belt on. There's a small tub of water and a couple of mugs for that. It's fairly empty. And it's good real estate too.
And the place he actually lives is different.
Yes.
Never mind, okay.
There's no bedroom here.
So this is just his lookout spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can go back to your place as he returns.
I'll go back. So I imagine it just continues like that until he goes off to get his tea and his lunch.
That's how the first half of the morning is spent. The second half, or then there's the tea and lunch over at the Morning Glory Tea Shop, except now that the section of dock has been damaged, he's been forced to take his tea in a slightly different location. Where's he going to take it now? I guess they just bring a stool out to the area above the staircase. That whole lower area is now questionable and not really working, so he just gets a new stool and sits on the higher spot dock.
All right. I will just maintain my observation. If this is all he does, or if he has anything else involved with.
Sure.
I was going to write about clandestine meetings with whoever the people in the bar told me was the most beautiful woman on the docks. I don't know her name, but I remember I got them to vote on who was the most beautiful.
So you keep an eye on him. He spends the rest of his day out here doing exactly what you saw him doing before, watching for wrongs and trying to correct them. And then on towards evening, he heads in a different direction. He heads all the way to the west side of the docks. So he take a route like this, heading in and over, heading on down through the little streets, up and around, and then he'll pop into a building over here at the end of that red line.
All right. Find out what that is. It didn't have any obvious purpose from where I can see? Is it like clearly that's small for a tavern? That's probably just like a normal house, right? 1-story house, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's 1 story. It's 15 by 15, and you can kind of peek an eye in as you walk by, and it looks like a house. There's a bed, there's a small kitchen, there's some coat racks, dressers, all that sort of thing.
I saw his house before. Was that his house?
Yes.
Okay, so
I didn't remember if you had seen it before or not, but that is definitely his house.
all right. So we duck back in there for the day. How long does he stay there?
He's there for about 15 minutes until he goes into the building right next door. He just kind of gets up, walks around, stretches out his legs, and heads into this building and steps on in, where he disappears.
All right. I'm going to remove my eye patch. I'm going to take off the skull cap.
Mm-hmm.
And I will resume my fishing from... Yeah, there's got to be a lot of activity with that big ship on that box. So I could just fish from like right here.
Sure.
Keep an eye out and just be part of the crowd.
Yeah, it's getting on towards evening anyway.
Sailors.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Sure, it's getting on towards evening, and the work of loading and unloading ships is winding down. Just the cruelest ship captains are keeping their staff working. Everyone else is kind of done for the day. And as you're sitting there on that dock watching, you see various sailors and locals coming into this same building that you saw Reginald walk into. One by one, they kind of file in until there's maybe 10 or 15 people in there.
Do I see sailors going in there?
You do. sailors and merchants, dock workers, people who just live down here, professionals, you know.
All right, I'll just nudge one of the other sailors that's around here. Like, what's that place over there everyone's heading into?
It's a shrine. Local cleric, can't remember his name, but local cleric runs a congregation most mornings and nights.
Huh.
Yeah, small little shrine. Bit odd.
So what god? I mean, why is he attracting so many sailors?
A stare, I believe, is the domain, the god. As to why so many people, I mean, gives a half-hearted shrug, kind of like, I don't know. People like the god. I'm not a. I got my temple is the mermaid's kiss. You know what I mean? I'm not the sort of guy that goes to church. I can't really explain to you why he attracts folks.
I don't know. I just didn't think Astaire was, the god of sea or voyages or anything that would attract so many sailors.
No, but you take what's available. No other shrines down here on the docks, and who wants to hike all the way up into the city? That's.
True,
I don't
true.
think I've ever counted the steps, but I think it's somewhere on the order of 600 or 700 steps, and that's a long way to go.
That's too many. I don't know if I could even make a dozen.
Yeah. So, small church, small shrine nearby, attracts a few people. He gives a half-hearted shrug.
12-step program joke, friends.
Because
Because that's the kind of obscure, unfunny jokes we make here.
That was right over my head, but I like it. So this random sailor kind of gives you a wave and saunters down the docks to one of the taverns.
All right. So, what other places are around here? And he must have spent a lot of money to get his own home, his own lookout post, his own shrine right next to his home.
Yes, yeah, they must have spent money or had some people in places that were willing to fund these efforts or repurpose existing buildings. I think that's a very good observation that it would have been very expensive to have these things. And there's probably a lot of people writing their hopes on Reginald if they're willing to help front that sort of money. Or if he's doing it himself, then he must be very dedicated to what he's doing to have all this territory.
What is this building over there that apparently traffic has to go through?
This building right here. Let's take a look. Marked as building 11.
Well, I guess. Oh, I see. You're not going through under it.
Yeah. There's an overhang there, so you can walk around it. But that is the headquarters for the Royal Shipping Company, abbreviated RSC. They are the biggest shipping company around. And this is their headquarters and one of their smaller warehouses. They have a few others on the docks too.
Alrighty.
So you can just walk straight through, or you can walk all the way around. But this area sometimes has like wagons in it or boxes, and it's impassable sometimes.
Alright. If I walk through, am I able to... It looks like you can go through here and kind of look in.
Yep, totally can.
They have crates and things. Probably we said this is a warehouse.
Yep. There are crates and boxes piled up and staircases going up to the next level.
All right. And do I see... Do they, put a seal of the Royal Shipping Company on any of their boxes? Or
Oh, yeah, they've got
okay.
one of those big brands that they stick into the fire and then, burn onto the boxes so that it's well marked.
All right. Can I see what that is?
Yeah, it is the letters RSC with rings around each one. So R in a ring, S in a ring, C in a ring. They're just kind of adjacent to each other.
All right. I will take my time while walking in there for a bit. Just the old, tie my shoe, even though I don't have a shoelace kind of thing. And just try to really look at the letters, the quote-unquote font, et cetera, et cetera. Try to memorize this.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check.
All right. Should have had my character up.
13, that's pretty good. You've got a solid look at these things. The font is not particularly unique. It looks like just a common fancy script.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to pay attention to it all should I want to take this.
Yeah. And going forward, you will notice, now that you've taken a look at this, that there are a few other warehouses on the docks that are part of the Royal Shipping Company, and you will see various boxes kind of scattered about. Like when you head into a tavern, you'll probably see a crate of Royal Shipping Company a branded crate from the Royal Shipping Company filled with bananas or something, just kind of like sitting there. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to see crates marked such.
Bananas?
Well, they don't grow bananas in High Castle. They got to come from somewhere.
I'm just impressed that they're apparently doing some pretty long sea voyages.
Bananas just come from down the canals a bit.
Oh, really?
Somewhere.
Okay. I just figured if this is... I guess I just made the totally unjustified assumption, a belief, you might say, rather than a scientifically proven hypothesis, that this was sort of just a medieval European type thing, that bananas would come from a very different climate. But I should have done that.
It is a general medieval style thing, but there are bananas that are grown elsewhere that are brought here. It is magical climates, after all. The gods have destined some areas to have one climate, and then an area right next to it to have a very different climate. It's amazing what you can do when you bend the rules of nature to your will.
Well, I guess if you can have banana plantations in Santa Barbara, which is pretty much Mediterranean weather, then
yeah,
you could probably, if you wanted to, grow bananas in Italy or Spain or something.
Probably. Yeah.
All right, makes sense. Got to bring him here. So I will position myself here. Keep an eye on what he does after his services. How long do these services go? Because there's nothing so unforgivable as
the long sermon.
Yeah.
They are half an hour. Long enough that you feel like you've really gotten what you need, but not so long that you're like, oh my god, why did I do this?
All right. Long enough that you feel like it's been a reasonable sacrifice for your...
Right, and for you to kind of calm down and focus your thoughts and attentions and allow yourself to be influenced by the words being spoken.
All right. What else is nearby here that seems like a reasonable place I could loiter?
See, by the time they're done with the sermons, the sun is already set, and things are pretty dark. Reginald just heads back to his house afterwards, and just goes inside. The other people start to dissipate, and you can start walking around and looking at things about.
All right, well, the darkness is my friend, so at this point I can Just keep an eye on me. Oh, it seems like you've even got canonical shadows all over those rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like I could hide in the shadows around those rocks.
Well, sure. I mean, the sun's set, so
Yeah,
everything is in shadow.
Marker.
Yeah.
It'll be double shadow.
Yes, you'll have the shadow of the rock and the shadow of the earth in the way.
It would take 2 light spells to reveal me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can hang out in those deep, dark shadows. There are a couple of guardsmen that are walking around in singles today. They're not too busy. They're also not too bothered. They don't even see you in the shadows, but you get the impression that if they did, they probably wouldn't care, because there's plenty of other people who are just like sitting on the sides of the dock somewhere, sitting up against a rock, just kind of looking out. There's always loitering down in this area, so you're not doing anything wrong, but they don't even spot you. So,
okay. Do you have tobacco in this world?
yes, tobacco does exist, but it'll give your character cancer if you play him for long enough. So,
Candle that burns twice as bright.
Yeah. But that's fine. I don't think we'll play long enough for you to get to the point where that'll be a problem.
Yeah, and it is a good excuse to sit around someplace.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to take up smoking.
Yeah, they haven't invented cell phones yet. You can't just idly stand and play on your phone and be completely ignored. Cell phones, the greatest disguise.
All the cool assassins are doing it.
Mm-hmm. Cell phones are the greatest disguise since the newspaper. Anyway.
Yeah, so I'll just pretend to be sort of napping, maybe sleeping off a bit of booze as I watch here.
So you're sitting right there in that spot of the shadows?
Yeah, just up against the rock here.
Okay. So you're here for an hour or so when you see a figure emerging from Reginald's house, but not through his front door. He's squeezing through a window and popping out into this little side alley right next to the house.
A figure that's not Reginald?
It's not dressed in half plate with a shield and a glowing morning star, or a warhammer and a mace. That's what you mean.
All right. I'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, this figure is a similar height and weight and build to Reginald, but is dressed much more like a kind of a down on his luck former sailor. He's got a bit of a limp going on. His clothes are kind of ratty and torn. He's got a hood or a cowl up that kind of disguises his face a little bit, and he kind of walks with a bit of a limp.
All right.
Kind of a soze limp.
I start stretching, slowly getting up from where I am.
Yeah. The figure comes on down and sees you in the shadows, pausing for a moment, and then
I'm just keeping my head facing different directions.
Yeah.
Like just stretching, shaking my leg like it was asleep. Stomped my foot a few times, trying to wake it up.
Yeah. He sees you and kind of walks past you with a grunt and a shrug, trying to make indistinct body language, and proceeds to go this way and starts to head up through here and starts to head over here, which I think is about where you're going to lose him.
All right, well, I'm going to try to not lose him. I try to follow stealthily, kind of staying behind corners to give a little bit of a lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I imagine like he's going to look back after he's turned a corner. It'll probably be within 5 seconds of turning that corner.
Right.
So when I see him go around a corner, I'll wait 5 seconds, I'll wait 10 seconds before peering around the corner.
Sure.
And then move quickly since I can. Thanks to cunning action.
Right. So this new figure that's totally not Reginald Silver at all makes his way up here, his way over here. You bop around the corner just in time to see him head into the Mermaid's Kiss. I think
Is the Mermaid's Kiss further down, or are we?
No, it's this big building with the bar symbol over
okay.
it.
For some reason, I was thinking it was further down. All right, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
where's the door? There's the door. So he kind of walks in this way and steps inside the building. I think from your vantage point, if you're looking around the corner at him, you'll even see him like walk past these windows because it's lit inside and it's dark outside, so you can see him in here. Yeah.
All right. I'll just kind of lean against one of these buildings here and watch what I can through the windows. Get a sense of what he's about.
Sure. This figure comes on in and heads right over to the matron of the house. And you see a transaction of coins being passed from one to the other. And the figure heads upstairs and disappears from sight.
All right. So I was here before. Does this have a brothel? Does it have...
Yes. It has a brothel on the second floor.
All right. Let's see. I'm noticing over there, looks like stairs or a ladder, but there's no door there.
What is that? That might just be like a small cart or something. Yeah, there's no entryway higher up. I think that's just like a little hand cart, or why is it not on the top layer, but it is on the bottom? Maybe it's a rack. I think it's a drying rack for stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going around this corner over here, out of sight.
Sure.
No windows that I can see.
Yeah, actually, as you're coming this direction and about to go down that corner, someone comes down from the stairs right here that lead up to the city. It is a familiar figure to you, and as you're coming down, he stops and goes, "Hey, excuse me, mister. You don't happen to have been on a ship that's come from Mystria recently, have you?"
Mystria?
Yeah, I'm looking for someone who can buy me a dragon scale. I need a dragon scale. And there's none in the town, and I'm looking. Does anyone down here has one?
Oh, are you some sort of con man?
What? No.
Is this like, and then you're gonna sell me some magic beans or something? Everyone knows that dragons aren't real.
Oh my god, it's spreading. Jesus. And he just pushes past you, murmuring to himself as he heads into the docks.
And after him, I'll call out, "Watch out for the corn man, people. He's a scammer."
People give him a second look as he shuffles past them and is gone from sight, leaving you alone in this section of town again.
He says he's a Mystaran priest who just needs your account with the money changer in order to split his fortune with you.
Wonderful.
Right. I'll go around the corner here. Now, I couldn't really tell from the roof, but I'm guessing that the second floor has windows.
I believe you can see... Yes, you can see windows on the second floor. Right. There's one here.
Oh, that is the second floor here. Okay.
Yeah, and here. These windows just look against solid wall, so these aren't actually windows on the top side. But you can see windows overlooking here, and then out through the front.
Now, the Mermaid's Kiss had rooms as well as a brothel. Where was the brothel part?
The brothel's upstairs. The rooms and the brothel are pretty much the same thing, but they'll be, business isn't always going well. So if you want to just rent a room for a whole night and not take a person up there, they'll be happy to let you do that, as long as you pay appropriately.
All right. So, what I'm seeing, there's only a couple private rooms.
Yeah.
Private rooms.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going. What kind of roof is it?
Tiled roof. Spanish tiles.
How tricky would that be to walk on?
You would need to go slowly, but I don't think it is unreasonable. They're well built so that they can be walked upon, because you need a chimney sweep every now and then, so you have to have a roof that you can walk on to get to the chimneys.
Could it be walked on quietly?
You took your time and you moved very slowly. Yeah, you can make a regular stealth check on the roof.
All right, so I am going to, after checking up the stairs to the city to make sure nobody's coming, I'm going to climb up to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to, and I'll take my time. I'm assuming got a decent constitution score wearing that half plate.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of make my rounds of the roof over those 3 rooms.
Okay.
And when I get to each one, I'm going to listen very carefully.
Try and listen through the roof to hear what you can below.
Yes.
Okay. It's nighttime, and you're going to be on the roof, so I want you to make me a stealth check while you're up there.
I get advantage for nighttime on a place that no one would look.
No. I think I think being on a roof might be more attention drawing since it's so out of place. You know?
All right.
Let's just make it straight. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, you're nice and quiet up there. You can listen to the roof directly below you, or try and like lean over the edge to hear what might be coming through a window. And quickly enough, you find the room that Reginald is in. It is this small one out front.
All right.
The double windows. And I don't mean Reginald. I mean the mysterious, unknown figure that left Reginald's house. It's totally not him.
All right. So it looks like there's rooms just to hang out up here.
There is a private party room up here. Yes.
And it looks like over here-ish.
Yeah, there's a separate entrance from the outside up into here. I think this might actually be the proprietor's like separate space when they need to handle something. Yeah, this is on the right side is a rentable party room.
Okay.
Yes.
Have your 8-year-old's birthday party at this kiss.
I think it's more of like a bachelor party sort of thing. Not quite a 8-year-old's birthday party, but close enough. I guess 8-year-olds are bachelors too.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, this is a medieval setting. It's not Alabama.
So, what's the plan?
We just lost our Alabama audience. I guess that means we can just make fun of them whenever we want from now on.
What's the plan?
You know, that's actually a good idea. We should figure out which is the least populated state.
Wyoming.
And then just make that our designated dog.
Wyoming is the
okay.
Less than 500,000 people, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's more than 500,000 now. It's 580,000.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't mean to say Alabama, home of a lot more than 500,000 people. Wyoming. This isn't Wyoming.
Right. Where the cows outnumber the people 3-1.
There's an awful lot of foursomes. So interesting. I mean, imagine people are milling about to a certain degree, given you've got the max common room over here. It looks like double beds over here. So people are wandering the hallways and such.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to now switch. I don't want to have to. I should carry some clothing around with me. I don't want to run back to switch clothing. So just gonna head in. Gonna get myself a tankard of ale.
Down on the base floor, the ground floor?
Yeah. To go tankard and wander randomly up these stairs back up to the second floor.
You're going to get stopped before you head upstairs by one of the bouncers. So you get yourself a drink, you start to wander up the stairs, and one of the bouncers puts a hand on your shoulder, who's kind of standing near the staircase, and goes, "Whoa, buddy, where do you think you're going?"
Upstairs to my bed.
I didn't see any money exchanging hands. Those are for paying customers upstairs.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I didn't pay for it yet because I'm not sleeping yet. How much is it for one of the common rooms?
For just a bed? Look, you need to talk to
You have a common
management.
room, right?
He motions you towards the matron, being like, I don't deal with this. Go talk to her.
Okay, your ladyship. How much for bed tonight?
The woman you're looking at or talking to takes a moment to look you over. She is about 5'7", 137 pounds, mid-40s, darkish hair, fine facial features, but sort of a flat, not quite like deadpan face, but kind of masking her expressions very well. What'd you say?
He's seen it all.
Yeah. So she kind of takes a look at you and thinks for a moment and says, "Come back in maybe half an hour. Then I'll be willing to lease rooms for the night. Until then,
No.
Other business needs to take priority. Don't worry, we'll change the sheets."
I can't just hand you a silver now.
If you're just looking for a room for the night, there's another tavern down the road. We offer a special kind of service here, and we'll rent out rooms as a secondary service.
Don't you have a common room? I mean,
She motions to the area around you.
Well, I mean, for sleeping, just where there's a bunch of bunks. I mean, I'm guessing you're not renting those out unless you've got some kind of stuff going on here that maybe Reginald Silver wouldn't approve of.
My fine, sweet dear, this must be your first time in a place like this. Perhaps you would be better suited to the seaside shanty down the way. And were it not about our fair, beloved cleric of the area, there is nothing illegal going on within these walls. We are registered with the proper authorities in the city.
No, I was just meaning, like, if, the room with all the beds, like, if there was some sort of big mass, like, Oh, whatever. I'll sit down over here.
Sure.
Actually, I could position myself more or less directly below that room, couldn't I?
You could, yes.
And still see those stairs perfectly. I shall do that.
All right, so
Sit down here nursing my ale.
Okay.
And I'll make a show of kind of grumbling into my ale now and again as I sit there sullenly. And I'm mainly just trying to listen to the room upstairs. In particular for when somebody,
Give me
when
a perception check at disadvantage because you're in a loud room downstairs.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to hear what's going on in there. At disadvantage, unfortunately, which is only 14, which is not gonna be good enough to really hear any details from upstairs.
That was a 14 disadvantage. That's pretty.
It's pretty good, but it's not good enough to hear the activities upstairs when you're in like a crowded, noisy bar room downstairs, you know?
Well, mainly I'm trying to hear like when the door. Well, that was the whole disadvantage. That's why it was, despite the noise. I'm just trying to hear like when the door opens, closes, etc. But I mean, I guess I'll see at the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Just went in through this way. No way to see those stairs going down here. All right, I'll just have to trust it. Trust my luck, and I'll stay here and wait.
Okay. You stay and wait. Half an hour passes, and then another half an hour passes, and the matron comes back to you and says, "If you'd like that room, it's available now."
Oh, good. How much?
8 silver for the night.
8 silver. That's like what they charge up at that place up on the cliffs.
Well, you want the very finest.
I didn't want the very finest. I wanted to just be in the room, where
There are cheaper rooms available down the road, but we here at the Mermaid's Kiss offer the very finest in quality. Quality drinks, quality rooms, quality entertainment.
All right. 8 silvers it is.
She'll
I'll make a big show of counting out, like, mostly coppers that I'll get to 8 silver worth eventually.
Yeah, she's a practiced owner, so she does not let any emotion betray on her face as you count out the coppers and here's a silver piece and here's some more coppers and
Oh, this one's Canadian. You take it.
no, of course not. So yeah, she just kind of idly sits, lets you do your thing, and then hands you a key, tells you that it is the room at the top of the stairs on the left.
So looking back at that, they don't have a reduced rate for this room. This is what I was just thinking. A sailor room.
No, they use that room for their regular business, and they just crowd a bunch of people in there and just don't be bashful.
Oh, okay. So I guess it was what I thought it would do.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of people come in and out of those doors.
Which room did you say?
On the left, top one. Yeah, this guy over here.
All right. I'm assuming it's a little bit quieter up here, and now
Definitely.
Now can I hear anything from that room?
Sure. You can also kind of walk over and listen at the door or anything, if you want.
I'm trying not to be that obvious.
Sure.
First, starting with what can I hear?
Sure.
Now.
So as you come up here, give me a second perception check. No disadvantage this time.
Okay, 18.
There we go. Very good. Yes, you can hear what sounds like giggling coming from that room. Masculine and feminine giggling.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess now that I've got a room, I'm totally justified in sitting on this little bench here by the fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there is a small fire going in the hearth.
All
Take a
right.
sit.
I'll take a sit with the same mug of ale that I've been nursing this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bide my time.
Sure. Another couple
I
hours.
get listening in case anything is said, or
Yeah, maybe another 10 minutes later, a serving girl comes up with a plate full of drinks and food and heads into that room with it, and then pops out a few moments later and heads back downstairs.
did I see anything when the door opens?
From your vantage point, you can see that table, that wine barrel that's being used as a table right here. You can see that it already has a few mugs and cups and beverages and plates, as if someone has been here for a while eating and drinking and having a good time, and they're just getting like refreshed on their supplies. Oh.
All right, but I don't happen to see the woman.
No, you've got a bad angle for seeing anyone other than the serving girl come in and out.
All right. I'll pay attention to the serving girl, take a note who she is, so I can talk to her later if I need to.
She looks like perhaps an aged out worker from here before. She's maybe in her 50s or so, and is now just kind of helping with the managerial side of things instead of the clientele directly.
All right. And I'll keep biding my time to see how long this goes. Not encouraging that they just have room service.
Yeah. You find yourself sitting on this bench throughout the whole night. Sometimes drinks come back into there. Sometimes someone comes and clears the table. The giggling kind of slows and quiets and then picks up again, and other interesting noises from the rooms around you. You might even find yourself starting to nod off at a certain point. It's not until
I pretend to be sort of slumped in a sleep over there.
Yeah.
Maybe in that corner.
Somewhere near the break of dawn is when the door opens one last time, and out stumbles a no longer limping man whose cowl is slightly off kilter now, and his face is not nearly as hidden, and he's clearly like, you've been drinking all night long and the sun is finally coming up and you're like, holy shit, it's time to get to bed. It's like that level of not really aware of anything in the world drunk. Like, just kind of, I have a goal and I kind of need to fulfill it drunk, and he comes stumbling out of the room, reeking of ale and cheese, and heads on down the stairs, fumbling about.
All right. I want to see the woman that comes.
Yeah. Following a moment or so behind him is this dark-haired woman, somewhere in her probably late 20s, early 30s. She's got the remains of a sheet that's been badly torn and ripped up, tied around her as she gives a wave to the client leaving the room.
Right, so I'm memorizing her so I can talk to her later.
Yeah. As he heads down the stairs, she turns, sees you, gives you a wink and a flirty wave, and then steps back in the room and closes the door.
All right. I'm tending to be asleep, so I don't acknowledge that.
Okay.
I'll pretend to be asleep for another. I know he's probably just going back to bed, back home to bed now. I'll pretend to be asleep for another 15 or 30 minutes there before I go into my room and really go to sleep here.
All right. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we will see what the assassin has decided to do with all of this new juicy information he's gained. We'll see you on the other side of our break. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. So,
Once more, a shout out to our sponsor, Too Much Coffee, for when a Sparklet's water cooler bottle full of coffee seems like a good start.
I'd also like it let it be known that Rob is personally sponsored by coffee. I am sponsored by orange juice. But there's really not much good to say about them, so I'm probably going to lose my sponsorship by the end of this session.
Neal is branded.
Orange juice.
Yep, they tied him up like a pig, did up the iron, pulled out his pants, and boom, he's branded.
RSC. Right across my backside.
Yep.
Anywho, you can go and catch some Z's if you so need to do so.
I imagine I absolutely need to do so, having stayed awake all night.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to pull an all-nighter and be functional the next day. You could probably pull it off for at least 1 or 2 nights.
Don't want a level of fatigue or anything, though.
Yeah. So, you sleep.
I do, and I wake up.
You will wake up that afternoon, groggy, because that sort of like sleeping in the morning and afternoon is not as good as sleeping all night. So you wake up rested, but a little blurry-eyed, and well.
Wait, you're saying an irregular sleeping schedule screws you up?
Yes, I do. I am, and it does.
See, I can't refute that because I would need to have a trial run of both an irregular sleeping schedule and a regular sleeping schedule to do this scientifically. And so far,
Why don't you just take it from me? I have a lot of experience with odd sleeping schedules, or no sleeping schedule for extended periods of time. It's definitely a little
Why, Neal,
difficult.
going long periods of time without sleep? You should televise that.
That period of my life is over and done with. Thank you very much. No more. I'm done. 6 days was enough. Anyway, you rest for the morning and the afternoon. By early afternoon, maybe mid-afternoon, you're up and about and able to do your thing. You see, as you're coming out of your tavern, a blurry-eyed Reginald Silver sitting at the end of this dock instead of in his usual place, legs dangling off the edge, kind of staring out to sea. He's got a cup next to him, and what looks to be maybe like a breakfast burrito that someone's wrapped up on a small plate on the other side of him that's got a few bites out of it, but not a lot.
Apparently this isn't an every night. Okay. Well, time for some creative writing. I am going to go back to my room at the seaside shanty where I'm not getting ripped off. At least not that bad. And I will spend the rest of the day in creative writing.
Are you writing poetry?
I'm writing journal entries by Reginald.
Oh my.
You know what? I should see.
Are you at all concerned that
I should actually check out his handwriting?
What I was about to say.
Yeah. So,
how are you going to get a sample of his handwriting?
well, last night would have been a good time to look through his room.
That's true. But during the middle of the day, it's in a pretty obvious place on the main thoroughfare. Middle of the day is probably a terrible time to try and get into that building.
After that alley he snuck out of.
Perhaps, but you know there are
completely blocked from view.
unless you're on this ship, looking down that way, or if there happens to be a guard walking past or something. You know, you could get in and out. It's not impossible, just dangerous.
Actually, what I don't see a ship that can see it. Here's the alley.
Yeah. Is that not line of sight to this ship down here?
If someone's sitting over on that edge, I guess it could possibly be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's in broad view of things. But if someone does happen to spot you, it's pretty much a, halt thief breaking into somebody's house sort of deal. High risk, high reward, let's put it.
Yes. Let's so first up, where does someone sell tobacco and smoking accoutrement here?
There are various small little merchant shops all over here. And little, where I don't think I have a specific tobacco shop, but you can find some for sale around here. At the very least, you can get it at any of the taverns. They'll sell tobacco and tobacco-related products.
All right. So I am going to get myself a pipe and tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
And start a new habit, kids.
Lovely. The assassin is picking up smoking. And where are you practicing this new habit?
I'm actually going to be leaning against, I'll say, his wall here in this alley where I'm smoking. Kind of keeping an eye out, just sort of, now and then pacing back and forth. Keeping an eye out for when the coast might be clear. Also looking in his window. Actually, I'll even do that. I'll lean against his shrine to look in his window and see if I can see anything in there that might have his writing.
Sure. You can spot in there that there is a little desk and there's a journal on the desk as well. There's no visible script out in the open, but you can see like a whole journal just sitting in there. While you're sitting in this alleyway, kind of biding your time, waiting for the coast to be very clear, a guard will walk past. And as they do so, they stop and give you a weird look and say, "What are you doing in the alleyway? Huh?"
Smoking. Kind of man of a smoke.
He doesn't say anything, but he does give you the stink eye. You're like, what? You're clearly just kind of hanging out in a weird alley down by the docks. It's pretty sketchy in an area that's already sort of sketchy. So he gives you a good look over, nods, and says, "You be careful." And
What? Set myself on fire?
And heads off.
Okay. So, targets. There's a journal. There is whatever is in that. You know what? I think I'm going to need to have him leave the night again with thorough search. It could take a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, I'm guessing he doesn't do this every night. So tonight he's probably not going to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep an eye out for him to see if there's any other things that he's up to. If maybe Mondays are his mermaid's kiss night and Tuesdays are his make blue meth night or something.
So yeah, you can watch him. I think we
At multiple
today.
nights.
Yeah, today is day 6 of 20. Got lots and lots of time. You can observe him for how long did you want to say? Or just waiting for him
Oh,
to head back to the other place? The
yeah.
Mermaid's Kiss?
I'll just wait to see. Just observing his day again.
Okay.
See if he's got any other vices. I'm guessing he's not heading to the Mermaid's Kiss tonight, but
Right. Well, so you can, if you observe him for a few days, you'll have plenty of opportunities to get an idea of this guy. You'll really get an opportunity to notice his behaviors and mannerisms. You will see him multiple times go up and kind of chastise people for breaking rules or whatnot. I think this is a good chance to sort of practice our gauging. You'll definitely be able to get a check on his charisma score, probably a few checks on his charisma score at the least. And if you can find any reasons why you might be able to check any of his other stats or substats, we can do that too.
all right. So I guess I've got a plan for tonight. So unless he goes back to the Mermaid's Kiss, I'll just try to gauge him a little bit.
Yeah. Why don't you give me
As best
what is it? An insight check. Give me an insight check and minimum result of 10, and you'll see if his charisma. Oh wow, 22 is perfect. So you can get his exact charisma score by watching his interactions with these other people.
Actually, I think what might be more useful, and this is sort of the perfect place, given that he's been up all night. I'm trying to gauge his constitution.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, resilient he seems to, having been up all night.
You know, he seems pretty wiped by this. He has a constitution of 11.
Okay, just didn't need any surprise hit points. Oh, he's got a 20.
Right. So with a constitution of 11, if you can figure out his exact level, you will also know his exact HP. If that is of interest to you. So 11, not 11 charisma, 11 constitution. Mistake. You can also make a roll for charisma if you would like, since you can observe that as well.
Might as well.
Yeah, the separate insight roll. You can learn of charisma up to 19. His charisma is 16. Anything else that you feel you might be able to gauge of him in this time? Assess?
Those would be the main thing. Main thing was Constitution, try to get an idea about how many hit points.
Yeah. So if he's level 2, he's got 13 HP. If he's level 3, he'll have 18 HP, I believe.
There are no blunt finesse weapons. They're all sharp blades.
Yes.
And it's not possible to do. Well, is it possible to do non-lethal for a sneak attack?
I suppose.
Yeah, I guess maybe we can say I'm hitting over the head with the hilt of my dagger or something.
I guess I kind of feel like the way they describe doing non-lethal with other weapons is using the blunted sides of them, and a bludgeoning weapon is sort of blunted to begin with. I think 5e just lets you do non-lethal at will.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I can sneak attack, because that would be what I would need to do here.
Let's see. Non-lethal damage, subset of damage. Damage. Page 196 to 197. Double check the rule here. I'll just stabilizing a creature, hit points. Actually seeing non-lethal damage in here, but I know it's got to be in here somewhere. I was pretty sure that in 5e you can just declare non-lethal with any weapon type. Fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to be sure. Or I made a plan counting on doing non-lethal sneak attack damage that
Right.
I wasn't going to find out. Unfortunately, sneak attack can't be non-lethal or something.
Let's see. There's no non-lethal damage except for the fact that when you drop a creature to 0 HP with a melee attack, you can make them go unconscious instead of killing them. Sometimes an attacker wants to incapacitate a foe rather than deal a killing blow. When an attacker reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, the attacker can knock the creature out. The attacker...
So there's no non-lethal?
So, yeah, I guess damage is just damage is damage is damage. But if you're using a melee attack, you can make them unconscious instead of killing them at 0 HP, which I guess is non-lethal. It's just oddly described. So yeah, go ahead. You can non-lethal him with a sneak attack.
Well, see, I'm trying to avoid like big gaping wound.
Right.
Investigators will go,
Stick to bludgeoning weapons then, and you'll be able to do much better.
yeah, that takes away my finesse. And do you get finesse with a fist?
I would give you finesse with the fist, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's what. What about brass knuckles?
Yes, that would also... no, I don't think that would work. I suppose that would work for finesse. As much as a fist would.
How much damage would brass knuckles do?
Maybe D4, maybe dagger damage. That seems fair.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
All right. Time to hit up the brass knuckle store.
Well, Knuckles is open 24 hours a day. They never close, not even on holidays. For when you need that last-minute Christmas gift for your younger brother, Knuckles has you. They're here for all your knuckling needs. They're up in the main city, though, so you can leave the docks, head up there, and head on over
Well,
to...
that's anyways.
Yeah.
I'll go pick myself up some brass knuckles.
Please add them to your character sheet.
Okay, how much does that cost me?
It's pretty difficult to craft. Getting it just perfectly tight for your fingers. Odd sort of weaponry. I'm going to say like 100. It's like a gold piece.
All right. I had a minute of panic there when you said 100 until I remembered that it wasn't real money.
Gold, copper is real money, my friend.
Neal, if you drop a penny, you pick it up.
A copper is not a penny. A copper is $1. Because you can buy a beer at a tavern for 3 to 5 copper pieces. You can't buy a beer in the real world for 3 to 5 pennies, but you can, at a cheap bar, buy one for $3 to $5. Copper to dollar ratio is accurate. Or, roughly accurate. As accurate as things get in a D&D to real world interplay.
Anyway, and I'll pick up some extra ink and paper. I'm going to spend some time just so I'm ready to, maybe I'll need to transcribe these into his journal. But so this is really just sort of rough draft.
Right.
So let's have to copy these over. I'm going to start writing some journal entries from Sir Reginald's point of view about. I'm going to make up a whole one about having the dream where Astaire turns his back on him and says, "No, it's you. Turned your back on me." And maybe 2 entries about, disturbing reflections. And
did you want to wait until after you got a copy of his handwriting to do this?
no, see, this is just a rough draft.
Okay, just the rough draft. Got it.
He already has a journal. I'm guessing that what I'll have to do is copy the story that I'm writing to his journal.
Okay.
Unless it's like a loose leaf 3-ring journal where I can just stick pages in. I'm guessing it's not a trapper keeper.
Right.
So, but I don't want to, under pressure, have to come up with like some really crappy story.
Right. You don't want to be like in the room at the last minute, being like, "Oh my God, what's this?" Yeah. Good idea.
So I'm crafting it. Making up some, like a couple of days of, reflection and sinking into despair of feeling the absence of Astaire, and truly only recognizing Astaire's presence now that it was lost. And then thinking about all the things he's done. And in addition to, I'll describe, the mermaid's kiss stuff. I mean, maybe he's already got that in his journal. And in addition to the mermaid's kiss stuff, I'll just throw in some hints at other family members, like young family members that he's done things to, to like further his, destroying his reputation and why he would commit suicide. And, his revelation that he's sick. This has been going on for too long. This God knows, Astaire knows that he's tried to resist these impulses. But now he knows he's completely failed. There's only one solution.
Only one way out.
Yes. So yeah, a few journal entries about that.
Sure. You spend the day doing that. And I think you said you had wanted to just wait for a few days for him to leave again to do another outing at night.
Yeah, so I'm going to... Let's see if there's any other supplies that I... Got my rope. Got my knuckles. I would like to get... probably freaking cooking it, too. Does he... just like a little bit of oil or even fat, grease. I'm going to get some. I'll have another smoke break. Alley. And I look over the window. Are there hinges that might be squeaky?
In the window of this alleyway?
Yeah.
The window here, you didn't hear it squeak last night when he went out of it. There are hinges, but apparently it's not audible from 20 feet away.
Okay, don't need to oil it up. Where's that window in relation to his bed? I'm not gonna like crawl over the window on top of him or something.
No. His bed is on the east side of the room. The door, the desk is on the east side of the room. The door is on the north, and the south has like cupboards and a small cooking area.
All right. And just in general, what's your ruling on could someone in a big sack who woke up underwater float or sink? And how much
People
weight?
float. People are generally less dense than water and will float.
How much weight would it take to counteract that? I don't think that much.
Well, you just need something pretty dense, right? So you put some armor on them, put a bunch of rocks in the sack.
That's what I was thinking, is a number of rocks. And hell, I can just leave those in the alleyway instead of having to carry them around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to notice those are suspicious looking rocks in the ground. So I'm going to spend the next couple of days while he is not going to the mermaid's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, so you'll actually notice if you spend the next couple of days that he tends to hold a congregation almost every morning or evening. I want to say like 75% of the time. And he will often hang like a sign out front being like no congregation today if there's not going to be one in the morning or the evening. So he has a morning and evening congregation most of the time.
all right.
Yeah.
And so I want to get a very big sack, one you could stick a person in. Thick quality sack made out of canvas.
Okay. You can get a very large sack.
Okay. Now I've already got rope. I want this sack to be easily tieable here. You know, if it's even got sort of like a pull tie rope crafted with that.
A sack would be useless if it didn't have a way of tying shut or squeezing shut. Why don't you chip out 50 copper for the large burlap sack that you could fit a person in?
Okay. The canvas, I want it high quality. That's something that I don't want this to be something that he could break out of.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a burlap sack is pretty difficult to get out of if you don't have any sharp, pointy objects. Burlap isn't really the easiest thing to rip. It's a very solid, sturdy material.
Okay, as long
And
as,
the latest in fashion.
all right. I mean, if the DM says that he can't easily get out of that, then I'll be fine.
Not easily, yeah. If he has a weapon, if he has a dagger, he could get out very easily. But if he's just barehanded,
All right.
not at all.
So I shall. You know what? Probably. I still need to check out the journal. I guess I can do that when I'm killing him. All right. So once I have everything in set, I've got my big old sack, got my everything I need. I'm gonna go to my room. I'm gonna have a new set of clothes. I'm gonna have a pack with my black assassin outfit, and probably just in case something goes horribly wrong, I'm gonna go for the full black armor, everything, and a cloak that can conceal it pretty well.
Okay.
Well, gloves of climbing and swimming.
Oh, wow. All right.
Black knuckles or brass knuckles. In case things get really nasty, I guess maybe my rapier.
So,
No, I'll stay with the brass knuckles.
okay, so you've got your armor, your cloak, your brass knuckles. Do you have like your... Did you say you were going to bring your dagger and your rapier?
I'll have my dagger as a tool. I think I won't bring my rapier,
Okay.
but the dagger I might need it.
Okay.
My sack stuffed inside
sack?
a regular sack.
Okay.
Writing materials.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have them in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to bide my time. I think I won't leave my room like that until very, very late at night.
Okay.
After midnight, long after.
So this is day 8 then? This is not the same day, because you've watched him for a couple of days now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is probably, let's call it day 9, so you've got plenty of time to have looked in. If you need any information that you've been looking for, it's fine.
All right. Is there an inconspicuous way out of the sea shanty? I kind of remember there being one.
I believe,
window or something.
I believe last time you snuck out the window and crawled along the rocks that abut your window. Over here last time.
Yeah, so I shall make my way, taking my time, moving very slowly, so as not to turn around the corner into a guard. I'm imagining guards have torches and things. Avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly, carefully make my way over to that alley.
All right. It is late at night. You are dressed all in dark clothes with a murder sack in hand, your weapons as needed, and your target more or less in sight. There was a congregation earlier today, but that ended. Reginald has turned in for the night. You wait until the lights are out in his little shack, until he's stopped entering his journal entry or whatever he was doing that day. And it's quiet, and it's dark.
I'll wait outside the window here a bit to listen inside, make sure everything's quiet, make sure he sounds like he's asleep but not having insomnia or something.
Yeah, give me a perception check as you listen at the door, or at the window or something. It's pretty quiet in there. You're not hearing anything.
Yeah, well, he's most likely age before electric lights. I'm sure he's not sitting in his bed texting somebody.
Right.
With the lights out. So time to ultra slowly. Is the window open, or do I need to
that window is closed, but it looks like the windows on this side that overlook the water are open. To get that fresh sea air in.
All right. I go over to that window, slowly look in. And
Sure.
don't want to climb in and step on him, or
Sure.
his collection of wind chimes is stored on the ground there, right by the window.
We're getting pretty close to the full moon now, since about 6 days ago it was about half a moon and growing. So we're fairly close to the full moon. You can peer in through here, having to shroud your eyes from the moonlight that would otherwise reflect off it, and see a fairly plain setup in there. There's a little shelf to your desk to your left, bed to your right, some kitchen stuff directly in front of you. The windows here are small, but Reginald fit through them, and he's a bigger feller than you, so you can probably fit through them too. It'll be a tight fit, but not impossible.
Can you move the roof again, just so I can see what's
Yes.
directly in front of me?
Unfortunately, the inside is blank. But imagine a bed over here.
Okay.
And a desk here. And then I think this is cooking supplies.
So the window
And
directly in
a
front of
dresser.
me, it's absolutely the best one to climb in.
Definitely. Yeah, it's cooking stuff over there, desk over there, dresser over here. There's probably like a chest or some boxes or buckets or barrels over here. So it's a small building, and all the space is being utilized, but this is the easiest entrance and egress.
What's directly below this window? What would I be stepping on to get in?
You'd be stepping on a box. It looks like a Foot Locker sort of chest style thing. Probably holds clothes or tools, something like that.
It looked sturdy enough that I could step on it.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a solid top.
I am going to, taking my time, for much I need, very slowly climb my way.
Okay.
And I've got my brass knuckles on my fist here.
Right. You slip on in through the window, which opens fairly easily, and you find yourself in this room. Whereas our Reginald Silver token is in bed, so we're gonna stretch him out so he looks like he's sleeping. He's not sleeping in his armor. You can see his plate mail is stacked very neatly at the head of the bed, just between the bed and the wall. Actually, he's probably facing the other way. He probably faces the doorway. We all do. So the armor is at the foot of the bed. His shield is hung up on a section on the wall. His his weapon belt is hung up on the wall as well. His staff at the edge of just next to his bed.
All right. And carefully looking over the floor so I don't, step on a cat or in case he's got some Home Alone set of broken Christmas ornaments or something spread out there.
Micro machines. That's how he's gonna do it. Yeah. Sure. Give me a perception check to give the room a good once over and see if there's anything hiding or anything that you need to be aware of. No, it's fine. Whatever. It's just a house. Micro machines haven't been invented yet. Don't worry about it.
Have they invented broken Christmas ornaments?
They haven't invented Christmas yet. But there is a winter solstice holiday, which is close enough to Christmas that you might as well call it the same thing.
But he's home alone.
And he is.
I have to take a chance. All right. So, which way is he facing? The wall or towards me?
Reginald. Let's see. He could be facing any number of directions. He is on his right side, so his back is to you, and he's currently facing the wall.
Perfect. I am gonna see how this works. Gonna try out the Special Assassin Level 3 class feature.
Why don't you read it for us, or surmise it for us?
Well, that's assassinate. I'm at my deadliest when I get the drop on my enemies, such as I would imagine when they're asleep. I have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. And it's my understanding that sneak attack damage is part of the critical.
All dice are doubled, so you would do your 2d6 sneak attack would become 4d6, and your 1d4 brass knuckles would become 2d4. So if you hit, it would be 4d6 plus 2d4 plus 3 for damage.
Yep, so I am going to pick out a nice spot on the back of his head, covered with hair, so that a big bruised spot isn't going to be likely to be noticed in case somebody does use water breathing to go down and recover his body. And pow, back of the head.
All right, you have an advantage. He is prone with no armor. And let's see, we did make some adjustments to AC. Dexterity and shield don't count towards your AC when you're surprised. And attacked from behind, blinded, grappled, or incapacitated. Dex does not count to your AC when you're restrained. So he is incapacitated because he's asleep. He doesn't get Dex or shield benefits. So his AC is 10.
All right, I'm just gonna roll. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it seems like since it's the same damage and it's finesse, I'll just roll the dagger since I don't have brass
Sure.
knuckle here.
Perfect. Thank God for that advantage. Wow, yeah. You get a nice solid blow right at the base of his skull. Go ahead and roll me damage. Twice. And, or just, 4d6, 2d4, 3. And however you want to roll it is fine by me.
Roll 4d6 plus 2d4 plus 3. All right, let's see what this number. Big bucks, no whammies.
You crack him in the back of the head. That is pretty middle of the road damage. 19. Let's take a look at his HP. Reginald Silver has 18 hit points, and so you bring him to 0. You crack him in the back of the head. You can hear the slight fracturing of his skull, and he is out. And there's also some blood leaking from the wound in the back of his head. Small amount for now.
Okay. All right, well, the best that can be done at the moment. So, and hopefully no one will notice that in a bloated, waterlogged body. For some reason, I was thinking with a sack that I might just drown him alive, but I guess that was what I was thinking about non-lethal. But he's already dead, so we'll just drown him. So now, close make sure all the windows are closed, including the ones looking out over the docks. Get air. Light a candle, and time to look over his journal.
His journal is fairly bland, actually. It's more or less like a log of who he's accosted that day and for what reasons, and the progress he thinks he's making on the docks. It's pretty boring. Give me... No, never mind. Give me nothing.
All right, I'll give you nothing and take everything. So I'm assuming there's still plenty of pages left to go in the journal.
Yes, there's plenty of room. It's maybe a quarter filled so far.
So I'm going to go, and I'll make some adjustments for the blandness style. With the entries that I've already written, I'll bland them down. And start recording first an entry, about how I've been recording the crimes of others when perhaps it's my own crime that I should have been recording. I don't know who to talk to but myself here, and I'll put in the dream entry about a stare turning his back and how he turned his back, and then the next one about how the troubled sleep he's been having, about his crimes with going to the at the Mermaid's Kiss, and about implied, since I don't have family names or anything, but implied times that he's forced himself upon female family members, various cousins or whatever, and how he's tried. Astaire knows that he's tried, but apparently Astaire can't forgive him. Can he forgive himself?
No.
And
should he be forgiven?
Yes, a few more entries like that. I'll put in one. The final one will be about how he held a sermon tonight, and as he was giving his sermon, all he could think of was his own hypocrisy. I'm putting in this stuff about how he feels he no longer feels that Astaire is with him. and his own hypocrisy and the things that he's speaking of when his own crimes are so much worse than many of the ones he's acting against. And there's only one way out. And I'm copying the handwriting style as best I can. I'm imagining his handwriting style is pretty bland.
Yeah, why don't you give me there's not really a forgery skill, is there? Is that a feat? Forger? I don't want to...
Isn't there a kit?
No forgery proficiency, there's no skill, there's no feat. Is it a kit?
I kind of thought there was a kit, but it's not like I'm making a seal or anything. I'm just copying something.
Right.
Whereas I think a forgery kit would involve like making a seal, which if it came down to it, I was gonna try to do for the RCS. I was thinking about implicating them in some way just to really fuck things up.
Let's see, a forgery kit contains a variety of papers, parchments, pens, and inks, seals and sealing wax, gold and silver leaf, and other supplies necessary to create convincing forgeries of physical documents. Blah,
I've already
blah,
got the actual quill and ink that he uses.
Okay.
So,
so this is...
make a dex or...
Yeah, why don't you make me a dexterity check? Just a straight dex check. Oh my god. So good. It should probably be a dex check, not a dex save, but whatever, it's fine. 20 to 22, you're all
sorry.
good.
Oops, sorry, I clicked on... Yeah,
it's fine. It just has your proficiency bonus on that, which is the only thing you shouldn't have, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You got a 20. It's a fantastic forgery. Someone would have to really be looking to discern if this is real or not, and delve deeply to be able to tell. So it's probably taken you an hour or so to get this done right, maybe a little bit more. And you've got the dead body in the bed. What are you gonna do?
I am going to, before I blow out the candle, check. I should have done something about this before, but is there any blood on the sheets?
There's a little bit of blood on the pillow, yeah.
Just on the pillow?
Just the pillow.
All right. Well, the pillow will go in the sack. We'll just have to dispose of that.
Okay.
And I'm going to dress him in his armor.
Oh. Okay.
Does he have a big seal of austere or anything on his shield?
Yes, he does.
I'm going to very symbolically, with the ink, and since I'm going to dispose of this pillow anyways, I'll take like a corner of the pillow, dip it in the ink, and draw it in a slash across the seal of a stare.
Are you going to put the shield in the sack with him?
I'm not going to put him in the sack. That's when I was thinking that he was just going to be unconscious.
Okay.
Because I was hoping to not have... I was going to try to minimize injuries, and I thought drowning, if I could knock him unconscious and then drown him in the sack, that would be less suspicious to anybody who water breathing him up, but hopefully the hit wouldn't have to do. I'll take a peek out. I'm not going to try to drag him in armor out of the window. That's just not going to work. I'll take a peek out the door, very slowly open the door, look up and down this path, look for guards.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming
there's a guard coming.
Okay, close the door.
Yep. You wait for a moment, and the guard slowly walks by, kind of looking left, looking right, yawning on his way, but otherwise just kind of walks this way and goes right through that indoor walkway and continues heading east.
All right. So, once he seems to be good and gone, I'm going to go ahead and grab Sir Reginald, carry him on my back. I'm going to close the door, although not lock it. Quickly go out this door and get into the alley. Then I'm going to go to the edge of the pier. Here, that should be out in the floating docks, hard to bottomless pit area here. And make sure his shield is strapped on. His weapon is at his belt there. And I'm going to lower him about a splash into the water and let him up.
All right. You carefully lower him down into the water, no splashes, and then let go of the rope. And his body.
He's not in a sack or anything. I just like him.
Oh, just by your hands. Okay, so he's not tied to. Okay, so you just
nothing that's gonna be like, how did he?
Sure. All right, so holding him by the shoulders or the hands or the ankles or something, you dip him into the water and let him go, and he dips beneath the cool, dark waves.
All right.
As you look up from your work to see what's going on, you notice that on this ship, just to the south of you, there appears to, in the process of dipping him, someone has come aboard the ship and is looking your direction, trying to figure out what the hell they just saw. Not really sure.
All right, I lay flat on the pier.
Well, we're gonna go to a break, and when we come back from a break, we're gonna see what's going on, because it looks like someone has spotted some mischief, and we'll see how you deal with them when we come back from a break. Bye.
All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Assassin. Rob, your character has been spotted by somebody on this ship just over the way. They're really not that far from you. It's maybe 35 feet, 30 feet, it looks like. 31.6 feet or so. Reginald's body is now sleeping with the fishes.
First I drop to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to once I'm on the ground, roll till I hang off the side of the pier on this side, using my gloves of climbing and swimming
Okay.
to very quickly and assuredly,
So you-
kind of hanging over.
Quickly roll off the edge of the dock, drop into the water.
Can I see this person? How much can I see about this person?
Well, it's very near to the full moon, so they're pretty well displayed for you. This person is a woman, not particularly old, not particularly young. She's dressed like a sailor of some sort. Doesn't seem to be armed, and is sort of like, huh? What the fuck? What was that? Like, confusedly looking at the area where all this stuff just went down. But remember, we're near to the...
To be human?
She seemed to be human.
Can I tell? Okay.
Yeah, looks like she's human.
All right, I am going to, hanging on the side here, move, going like this,
Mhm.
climbing, but I move those gloves. I can hopefully do that at full speed. I'm along the side of this till I get down to these rocks here. Actually, then I'll climb along the rocks and up this way and stealth my way into his room.
Okay. From there, you can... Give me a stealth check, first off.
All right.
21 and... All right. She starts heading down the dock in your direction. I think she'll get there just a little bit after you do. What are you gonna do? Here she comes.
Am I already in Sir Reginald's place?
Yes, you've managed to slip into his place.
All right, I want to make pushing the door closed, but not locked. I'm looking around quickly as a last thing. Got the pillow, making sure I picked up the sack. Anything else that looking for incriminating evidence.
That pillow, sack. What else did you take out? That seems to be it.
I'm just trying to look around, making a search with that.
Give me a perception check, a new one, while you re-examine the area.
Damn
it's fine. There's nothing.
All right, I'll have to have gotten. I have to trust that I've gotten everything here.
Yep.
Nothing else I can think of. I will slip out his door when she's down there, and make my way back up to.
Sure. As you begin to step out of the door, you hear a very large splashing sound, as if something has just entered the water.
Jumped in after him. Well, this is supposed to be frickin' bottomless, and he's in armor.
It's supposed to be very deep, and he's in armor. You may not find him.
Yeah, I'm thinking, having gone diving at night, it's going to be really hard to find anything underwater, even in a full moon, reflecting off. Mainly, I think like we were sort of doing it because there was a lot of bioluminescence floating on the top, but we couldn't see anything under. There's no way she could pull him up.
It's probably fine, right? That's probably fine.
How much does his armor weigh?
Quite a bit. Let's look up the weight of half plate. Half plate weighs 40 pounds.
Damn it. I'm going to move down this way. I'm still blocked from sight over here. Once I get to here, can I see any other activity on the ship?
No, the ship seems to be pretty still.
All right.
But the woman is gone.
I'm going to stealth my way down here just in case. Can I see anything from up here?
On the ship?
On the dock. I'm looking at the ship, but I'm also looking down the water.
Yeah, the ship seems to be pretty empty. A light is on in this building that wasn't before.
In which building?
I'm on the wrong layer. That's why you can't see it. This building over here. This big warehouse that the ship has pulled right up to. There is a light on in here that wasn't there before.
All right. I am going to climb down with my gloves and sort of hang on the end of the dock here.
All right. As you
got my brass knuckles ready, and I'm waiting for her to pop back up.
She surfaces, gasping for breath, and you have a moment before she notices you're there.
Wait, can I get my sneak attack? She hasn't acted yet?
Yeah, she hasn't acted yet. She actually isn't aware that you're here. She's just kicking for the surface.
Okay,
and
so
pops up.
Same thing, gonna try to hit her at a place where there's hair.
All right. Oh!
Thank God for advantage.
Thank God for advantage.
Both
You
those times.
crack her in the head.
And I'm gonna try to not kill her, just knock her out.
Okay. Roll some damage here.
46 plus 2d4.
I mean, she's got... Yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
You're doing minimum of 9 damage to her, and she's got 8 plus maybe a con mod. God, you do a lot of damage to her.
Can it just be unconscious, though?
The rules say it can be unconscious, so I guess we'll go with that.
I mean, since I guess it could be up in the air, because I did state it before I rolled the damage, but there's also that if you do more, X amount of damage.
Yeah, you do more than... You do bring her below her negative max. So I think you maybe try to knock her unconscious, but the blow is too solid, and you just hit the soft spot on the back of her head, and it caves in a little, and you're like, whoops. Didn't mean to kill her.
All right. I'm going to hold onto the dock, hold her under, like with her head facing up. I'm like putting pressure on her torso to try to push out any air. She's underwater, so I'm trying to like push out any air, let her lungs fill with water, disrupts the buoyancy.
Squeeze it out. Oh.
Yeah, and I hold her there until it feels like she's gonna sink if I let her go.
Her lungs fill with water to the point that you feel like she'll probably sink. And
if
with the
I
currents
let her go, she start to sink.
Yeah. And with the currents and tides here, if she's not heavily weighted down, she'll probably drift somewhere.
That's fine, just as if she'd normally drown.
Yep.
I am going to go ahead and, using my gloves of swimming, swim underwater. How far will you allow me to swim underwater?
You can go 30 feet per round. 30 feet, and then you can dash for another 30, and then you can cunning action for another 30. Gloves of Silver and climbing, you can move at walking speed. So you can go 90 feet in 6 seconds. You can swim at incredible rates.
Yeah, I'm gonna Phelps this thing here. So 18 squares. These are 5-foot squares.
Mm-hmm.
17, 18. Heck, I can get all the way over to this boat.
Easy peasy. Yep.
I do so underwater.
6 seconds later, you're at the boat, and you can hold your breath for a couple of minutes. So, in theory, you could swim wherever you wanted.
Diving gear.
Yeah. All right. It's not too much of a problem. You just have to pull yourself up on the dock and get back to your tavern without drawing any attention to yourself, which might be a little difficult because now you're sopping wet.
Yes. Where is the sea shanty again? Oh, down there.
Down there, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get my breath there at that boat, and I'm just gonna keep swimming underwater. Like, at the end of the round, go to a place like under a dock, get my breath under a dock, and do that until I get down to the sea shanty.
Sure. Why don't you move yourself to where whenever you come up for breath, let me see where you go.
All right. So let's see. First round, well, I guess second round technically. I will get my breath under the dock over there.
All right. You make your way, pop up underneath surface, catch your breath. You can hear the guards chatting in the guard room, which is right here. They're telling songs about this crazy person who's going around asking everybody for dragon scales because he's got some point he needs to prove, and he's desperately trying to buy a dragon scale. And it's kind of funny, and everyone's having a good time with it. The guards are talking about making paper mache dragon scales to try and sell him in the morning.
All right, I will swim next to under this dock and catch my breath.
All right, you get to the next dock. Totally fine. Reginald Silver is not here. He's dead and off in the water somewhere else. From this dock, it's super empty, super quiet. You can maybe hear a little bit of the music coming from the tavern over here, but it's late, and so I guess it's not music. It's just a few voices drifting through the open windows.
Right.
Old sea dogs exchanging stories.
I'm going to stealth my way. You know what? Fuck that. Remember the old talkative sea dog that I talked to the first time, and I carefully studied his voice?
Yeah.
I'm going to, I'll kind of stealthily get out from under the dock and onto the road here.
Give me a perception check while you do so.
Decent.
Okay. So you will, as you're popping up, you'll see that there's a guard down the ways. Maybe 100 feet or so. As you're starting to pull yourself up, you look left, you look right, right across the street. Yeah. That guard is taking his time, slowly making his way down the dock. It's a midnight stroll. He's got the late shift. It's fine. We're not in a hurry. Just lazily making his way down here. It takes him 3 times as long as it should. To slowly cross your path. Yeah, and eventually he makes his way down and disappears.
All right. Then I will try to stealthily get up onto the dock. Once I'm on the dock, which direction is the moon? Where is shadow from the full moon?
The moon is basically overhead right now. It's been a few
Bye.
hours after the sun
Okay.
has gone down, and it's almost full, so it's on the exact opposite side of the Earth as the sun. So it's basically overhead.
If I get over here, is there any shadow at all from the house?
About as much as the map is showing right now. It's pretty minor.
All right. Well, I will hug that shadow, and in case, I'll walk over there normally.
Mm-hmm.
Then hug that shadow, and just in case anybody happened to be on the window, using that old man's voice, I'm just gonna sort of mumble some lines of a drinking song.
All right.
A slurry way as I make my way around the corner and up to my room.
You climb on back into your room, and you can hear some people telling tales, singing songs a little bit down in the tavern below.
All right, I change into dry clothes,
Mm-hmm.
dry myself up, dry my hair, dry everything, so that should I need to rush out and be a concerned onlooker, if there is, big, I'm clear. I carefully clean the brass knuckles.
They seem to have already been pretty cleaned by the swim,
Yeah.
but you can polish them up.
All right, yeah, just making sure there's no blood or
Mm-hmm.
bit of Reginald on them or something.
Nice.
Well, Sophie, productive night. I will sleep lightly. First I'm gonna bar my door. And is there a particularly heavy piece of furniture to block it with, just in case I should need it? Can't imagine that I would, barring divination, but
let's see. Your room has a table and a bed and a small little chest or something, little desky thingy. So you can move your tables and chairs and stools and push everything up against that wall, against that doorway.
all right.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not even the right floor. That's the bottom
That's the first floor. That's
Yeah, what
probably
am I doing? God. Oh, I'm breaking everything.
Crystal vortex.
Breaking everything. You're on the second floor. There we go. So, actually, hey, same stuff. You got a little bench and a chest and a stool and a table. You can just tuck it right up against there.
All right, so I'll angle it kind of under things best I can, just to give myself hopefully some time. And I make sure I'm lifting things, not dragging them, not making noise.
Right.
And is there any way to even is there a door knob, or is it just like bar?
There's a keyhole. You have been given a key to it, so you may lock your door, keep your protection, your valuables safe over the course of the day.
Is there any sort of handle on the door?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I will tie my rope around the door handle to like loop it around the post of the bed, so that it would require moving the whole bed for someone to force the door open, unless they stopped and cut the rope.
Sure.
That is best I can. Just any sort of delay that. All right, and then I will try to lightly sleep.
You can go to bed. You'll wake up the next day kind of tired. You didn't sleep really the night before and got kind of a half-day sleep, and then you were up late again and wet and cold and the adrenaline rushing, a little hard to get to sleep. So you wake up tired but round.
All right. I guess it's nice that I have the extra sack. My armor is probably still wet. I will put the wet armor into the burlap sack. Double that up since it was a person-sized sack as best I can. Then put that sack into my backpack with clothes around it. So, I mean, does it seem that this is not going to? I'm not going to be walking up the stairs to the upper city with water dripping out of my.
Right. You've got a bunch of wet stuff. It might take a.
Double bagged it, and I'm
Yeah.
putting clothing.
Yeah, it'll probably not drip, and if it does, I mean, you're coming down from the docks. It's wet down there.
All right.
Might not draw that much attention.
Alrighty. So I will. I've been dressed as lower class people. I'll dress as someone a little bit more respectable. Maybe try to look like a traveling merchant who maybe just came off a ship and has sort of his traveling bag here. And it's time to check out. No, I guess you know what? Not yet. I should survey things here first. So I'll go down to breakfast.
At the tavern up it built into the wall, built into the cliff.
No, here I do want to hear what people are saying. I should get a feel for things here, so in case I need to correct things.
Sure. You're listening and waiting, and no one really seems to be saying anything about Reginald. At least not yet. Not in the morning.
Okay, so nobody else saw me. There wasn't any alarm raised.
Doesn't seem to be any alarm raised. At least none that the common people are aware of.
All right. I'm gonna spend. It'll take a day, that I'm sure, before people realize these. Point. So, given that I'm freaking Aquaman, except not having fish friends, which is basically as powerful as Aquaman, I will go do some fishing down by the docks, and this will be sort of how I'll pass this day, listening for information and things. And you know what? The dock down by the guard shack seems like a great place to overhear things.
Sure. You listen, and overhear nothing of interest at all. Like there's no talk of Reginald, there's no talk of a murder, there's no talk of missing people. Life is going on as usual.
Huh.
Yeah.
People aren't very curious.
Well, it's only been half a day. You have plenty of time, so if you stick around long enough, of course.
I'll wait another day to see.
Sure. The second day, people start to talk about Reginald. Like, no, Reginald has been seen in a day or two.
Actually, that night, then, before we get then, I will get back dressed in black, no armor this time. I will spend the night, late at night, sneak back over to Reginald's house, go back in the window, and
return to the scene of the crime the night after.
Since nobody seems to know there's a crime,
I'm
going to do a lot of perception, listening, and everything, just in case. I mean, I can't imagine someone's thinking, we know that somebody killed him, and we'll lay here in his room in case the person returns.
Right. Sure. You head back into the house.
I do a lot of perception, make sure that, as unlikely as that isn't the case. And I will again look around. I'm going to make absolutely sure there's nothing here. I'm going to leave the journal open to that last page.
Okay.
I'm going to have the ink, the little vial of ink, tipped over, as if he was in a very desperate mood.
Ink spilled everywhere.
Sure. Yes. So I'll do another perception check just to make sure there's nothing incriminating. God damn.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. And in that case, then I'm gonna leave, and I never did lock his door. I'll leave his door a bit, as if not like enough that someone might notice it, but someone might not.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been that way for a day?
Sure.
But just so someone might notice it, but not know if it's been like that for a while.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And
Well, you can wait at a tavern and listen, and you'll hear people start to question the disappearance of him and where did he go? He hasn't been seen in a day.
Yeah, the mermaid's blush or mermaid's kiss is where I'll go.
Yeah. You definitely overhear the chatter of this prominent figure hasn't been seen in a few days, and I don't know, he's probably went home. I don't keep tabs on him. It's fine. Whatever,
right. So at the mermaid's kiss, I want to find out the name of the woman he was.
You can describe her, saying you've seen her down in the tavern before. Her name is Raven, and she is one of the working women here.
All right. Once I get that, I'm going to again change my appearance a bit. Go back to the sea shanty.
Mm-hmm.
And when conversation turns to, where's Sir Reginald?
Mm-hmm.
I'll join in with, from what I heard, maybe he's just spending some extra time with Raven. Give a little
touch. What do you mean? People lean in.
Some people have been saying that there's this just completely over the top person, with a limp and all this stuff, and I described his disguise, who's just the same size as Sir Reginald, and sounds just like him, and it's got plenty of money to spend, who heads down to the mermaid's kiss, pays for drinks, food all night, and then I don't know. Have you ever seen the Reginald? How some mornings he's a little bit blurry, or some mornings he's not on the job at all.
Well, everyone needs a break. Even a great cleric of Astaire has got to take breaks from time to time.
Yeah, a break.
You don't think to say that.
I'm just saying that even a great cleric's got his needs.
Wow. You think he's holed up upstairs at the Mermaid's Kiss, having a good time with things?
Maybe. All I know is I've seen that person described, like like I just described.
Mm-hmm.
Way out of there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He had a, except his hood was kind of like off to one side because he was pretty blurry and drunk, and it looked like him. But I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask Raven or someone down there, I guess.
They take the gossip and share their own with you, and you get embroiled in conversation with them for half an hour or so.
Can I use persuasion to try to really?
Yeah, give it to me.
Get this gossip going.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check to see if you can create gossip. Oh,
I'm gonna mean girl this thing. All right.
All those years as a school teacher are finally paying off. You finally have learned the skills necessary.
And not only am I going to do this, but I'm going to try to, as I tell the story, try to do so in a way working with all these people to kind of invite them to join in. When I describe this person, I'm sure that somebody might have seen. Yeah, I remember that guy because he was so freaking obviously disguised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a limp and I'm hood and start to kind of convince people that they kind of knew this all along, and in fact they can confirm it.
Yeah. Well, I think with an 18 on your persuasion check, and this being the docks, and this being a particularly good and juicy bit of gossip, I mean, the cleric of law and order is sneaking out at night and disguising himself to head to the legal brothel. Like, if it's legal, why is he disguising himself? Why is a cleric of order doing this weird... What the hell's going on here? It's exactly the sort of thing people down here live for.
You know, that experiment with convincing people that they saw Bugs Bunny at Disneyland. Have you ever heard about that with memory?
No.
People, they did an experiment about like just how reliable are people's memories.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the experiment was they would get a person and they would get like a relative or someone that was in on the experiment. And they would be interviewing the person, you know, the subject of the experiment. And with the help of the relative, start talking about how, you know, the relative would be like, remember the time when we went to Disneyland and you saw Bugs Bunny and you got your picture taken with Bugs Bunny and all this stuff. And then eventually most of the time convince the person they had their picture taken with Bugs Bunny at Disneyland, despite the fact that Bugs Bunny isn't at goddamn Disneyland.
Right.
They would create this memory. The more they sort of heard the confirmation from a trusted source, the more they totally believed they saw Bugs Bunny. They would like add their own details. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, it works beautifully. By the end of that day, it's the talk of the town is that Reginald's like, maybe he ran off with Raven. No, I saw Raven earlier today. Really? Are you sure? Because I didn't see her, and I went by the Mermaid's Kiss 5 times just to see if I could spot Reginald. Blah, 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 right? So...
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to start to go, you know, I tried to book Raven, but she was all booked up for the night. Now they're convinced. Yeah, I'm going to feed this as best I can with, you know, little confirmation. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. It spreads.
All right, but still nobody's got into checked out his room or anything, have you?
I mean, he's a noble. These are all peasants, you know. They can't go do that sort of thing. But eventually someone will. I mean,
and I do, you know, once I've got these rumors good and going, I will go back to fishing down by the guard dock, overhear what I can overhear.
Right. At the guard dock, you'll overhear the guards eventually catching word of the rumors floating around, and well, he has been missing. And then later, and you know, a few hours later that evening, you hear one of the guards at the dock and the guardhouse saying, "I knocked on his door, wasn't an answer, didn't see anyone inside."
Remember, I didn't close it all the way. If he knocked on the door, it would have opened.
Right. So he'll mention that, but he didn't go inside. He's respectful of the nobles and the clerics' personal space. You know, you don't just go barging in on these things. But the guards have taken alert to his disappearance and are kind of just like, well, what do you do? I mean, he could have just gone. He could have left for a week and wouldn't have told us. He could be. Who knows? But I'm sure he'll turn up. It'll be fine. Let's not worry about it.
Hopefully, some guard can get curious. I'll give another. I've still got plenty of days left, right?
I mean, he's dead. You've got until the next mission starts. You can spend as much time as you want here.
All right, I'll spend 2 more days to see somebody's got to go. Especially if they knocked on the door and the door slid a little bit way open. And then the next day they're like, the door is still open the way it was.
People do get curious about his disappearance. And eventually the Portia, the harbor captain, the harbor master comes by to take a look and knocks on Reginald's door, pushes her way in. You hear this secondhand about how she kind of started looking around and found this spilled vial of ink and this ledger with a note in it about he was having problems of some kind. Portia didn't say what, but it looks like old Reggie might have.
Together with I'm sure people would create their own rumors out of rumor A plus rumor B.
Yeah, and eventually it's, well, you know, I think he took a short step off a steep dock, and we don't think he's coming back. Oh my God, Reginald Silver, cleric of Astaire? throwing himself away like that? I can't believe it. And it quickly becomes apparent that everyone thinks he's killed himself.
Okay. That's just wanted to know and wanted to see if I needed to, like, fix any rumors or anything.
No, it all goes perfectly, except for that one missing sailor. But, that person is a nobody. And sailors go missing all the time. They come into shore and get themselves thrown into jail and can't be found and have to be left behind, or get themselves stabbed in a bar fight somewhere. Sailors disappear all the time.
All right. So, no damage control. Looks like we're good. Time to go and head up and see Ripley.
All right. You find Ripley upstairs at the other tavern. It's a little bit more crowded today, maybe about half full. And the two of you are here.
All right. Oh, and I do, find some kids in the dock, buy another fish.
You buy fish for your cat.
I'm keeping Sophie well taken care of.
She continues to survive for now.
Yes.
For now.
Thrive is what I'm looking for. And I'll, sit down and get a drink and then wait for Ripley to be done with her set or whatever she's doing.
Yeah, it takes a little while. She doesn't want to draw attention. So you wait quite a bit until she comes over and joins you and says, wonderful day we're having today, isn't it?
Yes, there's so much juicy gossip down at the docks. I don't know if you get it up here.
We don't. What's the word down there?
They say that good Reginald Silver disappeared. Whatever's the appropriate number of nights ago.
Right.
No one had seen him. People were wondering what happened. There's rumors started to surface that he'd been seeing a local prostitute, spending all night in disguise. And then after a number of days, the harbor went down to check on him, went into his room, found his journal. Apparently he committed suicide. Probably stepped off a dock.
My God.
That's all anyone can talk about down there. About his suicide, about his dalliances with Raven that drove him to it.
How inappropriate for a cleric of Astaire.
Yes, you never know. You never know with these people.
Well, I certainly think that goes to show what happens when people pay far too much attention to the rules and stop living their lives the way they had to be. That poor man had only accepted his darker sides, he probably would still be alive today, instead of trying to hide them and shun them away.
Well, without him there, I worry that smugglers will be bringing things in the docks without him searching every boat as it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what sort of foul things could be smuggled in at this point.
Terrible.
We live in.
Yes, terrible. We'll have to see next week what foul things can be smuggled in, but I think we all know that it's going to be a series of poisons and toxins, which will be available to you.
That would be horrible.
In your next mission. We've got a little bit of time, so let's just do a quick pre-cap of what next week's assassination is going to be.
All right, let's precog this.
Yes.
I'll get my Minority Report computer going. All right.
Perfect. Next, mission 4, we're going to be calling the Ambassador of Death. We have, the target is a man named Xanatos Elderwig. He is a Mystrian ambassador who is coming over to Eridon to sort of try and have an audience with the queen here and sort things out between the two kingdoms and try and create better cooperation between the two, which of course is just, it won't do. We need to destabilize the world here. So Xanatos Elderwig, we'll have to go. Unlike the other missions, this person is on a specific journey. They will be arriving at Tassel on our world map. Let's see if I can bring up our world map for us. They will be arriving... Here we go.
Didn't know I had that tab open, sorry.
They'll be arriving in the town of Tassel down here and making their way to the capital, Stromheim, via road, via carriage, actually, stopping for the night in Cauldron. So you will have a couple of weeks to scout out all the various locations here, and then decide where you want to make your stand in your assassination. It will be a guarded terroristic mission, meaning that the ambassador will have guards with them. But the objective is to kill them as publicly as possible to make a statement to the world. So...
And I'll finally use that bow.
Maybe you'll finally use that bow. We'll go over all the details next week, but you'll have you'll know ahead of time what rooms they're going to be staying, or what taverns they'll be staying in, what inns they'll be staying in, and the route they'll be taking. So you'll be able to decide if you want to hit them on the road or hit them at an inn or something. But they'll be in a carriage, so they'll probably be able to outmaneuver you or outrun you. So many things to consider for next week's game. And that is that. Any final words, Rob?
Well, thank you guys for all coming in. I hope you had fun. We'll see what I can do next week with this situation. It sounds like it's going to be a challenge.
I hope so. It'll definitely be different. Poison might be useful here. Or maybe it won't. Maybe you need something more direct, and we'll chat poisons and stuff then. So for now, we're out. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.